Congress is also preparing to return from summer break and is reportedly planning to come back, floating a possible impeachment inquiry into President Biden and his son Hunter. CBN News White House correspondent Abigail Robertson joins us from the White House this evening. Abigail?
That's right, Jenna. Congress is set to come back to D.C. in about 2 weeks, and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy claims House Republicans have mounting evidence of financial misconduct from President Joe Biden and his son Hunter that could lead to a possible impeachment investigation.
If you look at all the information we've been able to gather so far, it is a natural step forward that you would have to go to an impeachment inquiry.
McCarthy claimed on Fox News that there is a culture of corruption within the Biden family that involves bribery and millions of dollars going to the family through multiple shell companies.
He said he never had any dealings with his son's business, and that he never even talked to him. We've now found out not only did he call into the meetings, he went to dinner, and after the dinner, Hunter Biden got a new Porsche, that there was $3.5 million transferred. We now found out as he was a sitting vice president, the family created 20 shell companies. They received 16 of 17 payments from Romania while he was vice president.
Former President Donald Trump, who was impeached by the House twice, chimed in on Truth Social, calling Biden a stone-cold crook and telling Republicans in Congress to impeach the bum or fade into oblivion. President Biden, who started the work week welcoming kids back to school in D.C., continues to deny he had any involvement in Hunter's overseas business dealings. According to a new Yahoo News YouGov poll, 45% of respondents said they believe the Biden family is corrupt, compared to 53% who believe the Trump family is corrupt. When asked which family is more corrupt, 46 respondents said the Trumps, compared to 36 who said the Bidens. That same poll found 64% of Americans believe Hunter Biden did something illegal.
We can't have a convicted felon as our nominee for president and expect we're going to win.
Presidential candidate Chris Christie reminded voters Hunter Biden is not on the ballot.
The fact is that the two people who would be on the ballot if we nominated Donald Trump will be Donald Trump and Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden. And the fact is, it's the conduct of the people who are running for office that's going to matter the most. We may find out more about President Biden in the months to come. But the fact is, right now, Donald Trump is out on bail in 4 different jurisdictions.
And thus far, Biden's campaign has avoided speaking about the legal issues facing his son Hunter. And they're also not focused on Trump's issues either, claiming they want an independent justice system handling both. Jenna?
All right, at the White House correspondent Abigail Robertson. Thank you, Abigail. And for more on this, let's bring in our chief political analyst, David Brody. David, House Republicans continue to uncover more about the Biden family business dealings. How serious is this actually getting for President Biden?
Oh, it's serious, for sure. It's going to move to the impeachment inquiry level. I don't think there's any question about that. And let's just be clear about this. All an impeachment inquiry means is that Congress, these are Republicans in the House, are going to have more investigative powers. They already have a lot through the House Judiciary Committee and the House Ways and Means, House Oversight Committee. But this will just make it a lot more expansive powers. That's what that really is. But that is the first step in what could be a potential impeachment. Think about it, Jenna. We could have a former president under indictment, potentially convicted by November of 2024. We also could have a current president of the United States impeached and potentially going on trial in the Senate over the impeachment. Literally, that could happen. That is in the realm of possibility. It's just fascinating and sadly very disturbing for America.
David, do you think Republicans in the House are getting closer to, for lack of a better word, a smoking gun as it relates to not Hunter, but President Biden?
Well, that's the $64,000 question, and it's a great question. I think it's upon Republicans, contingent upon Republicans, to connect the dots. There are a lot of dots here. There's a lot of, quote, evidence that they say they have. Okay, great, knock yourself out, but you need to connect them, and you need to have that smoking gun. What is that smoking gun exactly? We don't know right now. However, having said that, even the Washington Post, a columnist from the Washington Post, just recently said there was, quote, more than enough evidence to proceed against some sort of alleged bribery scheme involving Joe Biden. That's the Washington Post saying that. If that's them saying that, imagine how close Republicans are to actually putting it all together.
Yeah, we'll see what comes out. So, David, Donald Trump's D.C. trial has been set for March 4th. That's the day before Super Tuesday. What are the political implications of that?
Well, I mean, it's really a travesty if you think about it, and I don't mean it's because it's Trump. It could be animal, vegetable, or mineral, Republican or Democrat. The fact that you literally have a former president, or I should say, a current nominee, or excuse me, current candidate for president, who's the front runner, and having to deal with this right now while he's supposed to be campaigning and out doing X, Y, and Z. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and energy away from where he would normally be. And I think that's the whole point of why Trump keeps saying election interference. Why are you doing it now? You could have done it 2 years ago.
A new poll out today, David, says Americans see Donald Trump as too corrupt and they see Joe Biden as too old for this next election. Final thought as to how this might play out in a general election, David.
Well, that sums it all up. That's the state of American politics today. Those are our choices, ladies and gentlemen. Congrats, back to you. I mean, seriously, that's where we are. I would just say this. I remember, not to make an apples to apples comparison, but let's remember Ronald Reagan, then came George W. Bush, or George H.W. Bush, and then, of course, Bill Clinton came. And then, of course, we know that there was a new leadership coming from Clinton. So we'll see if that's the same here.
All right. David Brody, always good to see you. Thanks for joining us this Monday.
Thanks.